Howdy, y'all, it's me, Stained Texas. And welcome back to the game that not only endorses familial murder, it pretty much encourages it. Crusader Kings 3. Now, where we left off, we had just gotten our butts kicked by the perfidious Italian rebels of the south, led by their treacherous and rather unfortunately infected King Berenger, though a king in name only, for he is little more than a covetous knave, as his personality spread actually is labeled. That's one of the fun things of this game, is that they actually have personality types with all your traits. But this one is a covetous knave, and surely he did get what he wanted, unfortunately. However, we still control some of our lands to the south, and no doubt we shall engage in glorious warfare in the future to retake our rightful Italian lands. However, unfortunately for the East Franconians, I have little desire to continue to allow their independence. When our military is stronger, we have a competent ally in England, and King Alfred the Great himself, a notable historical figure, the grandfather of the very first king of a united England, and the man who is credited largely with the reversal of fortunes for the Anglo-Saxons against the Norse invaders, the Vikings, who were halted at Wessex and were eventually pushed out of England. Though it's a little more complicated than that. Actually, King Alfred the Great did actually resettle some of the Danes into English territory, like East Anglia, this little region right here. There was actually a lot of settled Danish people who lived there. And so there's some interesting little bit of a tidbit. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to try and wage a glorious war against East Francia and take it for ourselves. Hopefully, this will not end in a sad and depressing rebellion like last time. That was a bit unfortunate, but, it is what it is to a certain extent. Our king is getting older, but he's not really in danger of dying yet. So we have a little time to exploit his claims as one of the Carlings. Let's see here. I think then we shouldn't really spend too much time deliberating and march off to war. As I already have a claim, I will conquer this whole region. And possibly this region as well. I don't actually know, because it's the way de jure lands work in this game can be a bit finicky. But at the very least, I will get all of this stuff from him. And possibly this stuff, though I'm not going to count on it. Nor do I particularly care if I get it or not. I can get it in another war. Frankly speaking, when I acquire this territory, there's going to be a lot of rebellions. But it's okay, because I'm going to put them down. Oh, I just exited out like a fool. Well, here we go. War has been declared. And now the music is kicking in. I really don't understand what's causing the music to not play. It's fine. We shall raise our armies. We shall call in King Alfred. We have some vassals that want council positions, and they're fairly powerful. So I suppose I should try and accommodate them. But they also kind of suck, is the thing. I don't like them very much. I is this guy any better? Actually, he has really good diplomacy. So, the Duchess of Holland will be, in fact, my chief diplomat. And she will be a far better diplomat than the other guy, who was also a important member, but I don't like him as much. And I think she's actually one of my strongest, because she is the Duchess of Holland, and she has a bit of territory to her name. Focusing back on the war, conveniently their capital is right there, and I plan on blitzing it. They are an inferior military, and from what I saw of their actual strength, they have armored footmen as their men-at-arms. And as it so happens, armored footmen is neatly countered by light footmen, of which I have plenty. So, they will find their armies wanting, to be sure. And I shall teach them the superiority of King Lothar as they meet death at the end of our blades and spears. We are also being led by the leader of Tuscany, Duke of Tuscany, who was actually a rebel once, but is now our general, and oh boy, he is a monster of a general. He might be one of the best alive in the current era at the moment. They have a slight advantage for their defense in the woods, but it will not matter. We counter their troops perfectly, and our general is just plain better, and we had more troops to begin with. So this will be a brutal, brutal victory for us. Unfortunately, we can't enter their lands yet. Well, you can, but we'll take intrigue, because their lands are not directly connected. So we are going to have to take a territory before we assault the capital. Getting better murder power is always fun. In fact, I might just use my newfound skills to murder better against this rather unfortunately, shall we say, this rather unfortunately aligned duke who wishes to be rebellious scum in my kingdom. He shall know the consequences of disservice and disorder. I'm getting some attrition. You gotta be kidding me. It's exposed already. That's just wrong. Okay, well, that sucks. Our next best bet is to try and... Who is this guy? This guy's the Duke of Tuscany. I'm going to sway him because I want to keep him on my side for future wars, because he's super good at what he does. And what he does is murder. My player heir, who is my younger brother, who is a landless prince, I think he was kicked out of the rebel territory, which is sad and amusing all at once. I don't really want him to be the heir. So I'm going to do what I failed to do many, many years ago. And find a younger wife. Pull a King Henry VIII. Was it the 8th or was it the 5th? I don't really know, nor do I really care. Either way, one of them went about murdering his wife, and I'm going to do the same. It's all very profound and professional, you understand. This is just how it's done, you know? Oh my goodness. Yet another priest being... I just can't believe it. I just can't believe it. What is this world coming to when the good men of God are turned to sin? It's just a real shame. It makes you wonder if they even believe what they're spouting in those damn churches of theirs. If they can't, if they can't hold their loins and guard them properly for 5 minutes. I mean, really. Now, we have a guest named Sif, who is apparently quite the crafty woman, and because I am a crafty man, I would like to try and recruit her. Heck. Maybe when I'm done murdering the queen. Ooh. It takes many days, but at long last I coincidentally stumble upon Sif while she's alone. Lady Sif, I've been meaning to. If you walked into a room to find your spouse yelling at a young page for dropping a plate, what would you do? Is she testing me? Maybe this is my opportunity to convince her we have a lot in common. Well, I would ask them both to present their side of the conflict. Make sure the spy is treated well. Maybe he'll give up more information if he thinks he's gonna have... All taxes as a country will be raised. It comes to your attention that one of your vassals questions your decisions. I would try and negotiate. What an odd person. I don't really know how that event's supposed to play out, or how to win it. I'm sure there's actually, like, a way to figure out what answer you're supposed to give, but I'm really lazy, so I didn't look it up. Nor did I find it intuitive. Also, last time I had that event, I gave similar answers and I won, so I guess it's different per person? I just don't know. Anyways, how's my plot to murder my wife? Oh, it's proceeding nicely. I'm sure she'll be dead by the fortnight. Okay. We've already had this event, so I'm just going to ignore it. And we're going to... Yeah, and it's just going to cost us a bit of renown, and it's going to be fine, because who cares? I don't care. That's for darn certain. Well, it looks like they have rallied their troops and are coming to try and put a stop to my incursions. Well, I may have to retreat with these guys if it looks like they're getting too close. Yeah, we're not going to siege it down in time, so we're going to pull back with them. The capital is the goal anyways. Everything else is entirely secondary. I don't know if they're gonna catch me. I don't think so. If they do, they'll catch me in the mountains here. So I'm gonna sit there and let them make their decision. I have siege weapons and they don't. And that's a huge advantage. A lot of war in CK3 is capturing castles. And the faster you can capture them, the faster the war goes. If you can never engage your enemy in an outright fight. But if you're able to just capture castles faster than they can, you're going to win the war. And that's what siege weapons are for. I mean, obviously, but it's kind of a lot of people, because they're kind of expensive and they don't help you in outright fights. Some people will forgo them. I used to myself, and that turned out to be a mistake because the war isn't won in open battle. It is typically won by how fast you can siege. Because when I finish sieging this guy down, this guy will only be partway through progress. I can just come down here and fight him at my fort, in which I will get the terrain advantage. And that will make me far more successful in my endeavors than if I had just, like, tried to ignore him in favor of sieging. Like, if we had had similar siege progress, that's the strategy where I could just come back down and finish before him and get my objective while denying him his. That would never have worked, because we would have completed the siege around the same time. But capturing the capital, it might give us some hostages, which will increase our war score. With luck, we might even capture the king. And that would be... Oh, we got his son. We got his son and heir, and that is one of the best outcomes. As you can see, we've already... Just capturing his heir gives us 50% war score. 50% for capturing one person. And now if I think if we win this battle, we might actually just take East Francia. It'll be super short, but really effective war. Now, as you can see, we're gonna do a honey trap. We're gonna leave a trail of candles towards Queen Tutbertha's bedchamber. I can only assume that this is to light the way for the guard, light the way for the assassin, as it says here. But I also want to believe that this is like somehow a honey trap where she thinks I'm setting up like some sort of romantic evening. Like they scatter rose petals and like light candles all the way to the bedchamber, and where she enters, she gets ready on the bed, and she's like, "Oh, honey, it's been so long since we've had a moment like this. I've never taken you for a romantic. I mean, we used to fight all the time." Then she comes in, and its bedchamber's empty, and then suddenly from behind, she is dead! Oh, romance turned to murder. Oh, it's classic, isn't it? Isn't it classic? I think it's classic. I think it's classic indeed. I actually am really happy with how that turned out. So we're going to engage them. And as you can see, I actually get the bonus for being in the woods, and I'm going to be reinforced by a bunch of troops. So we're going to win this fight. And then I might actually just win the war outright if we win this fight. And yep, there we go. Oh, it is just wonderful, isn't it? Now give me your darn kingdom, all of it. Just give it all to me. Oh. Do you feel it? That's the feeling of triumph, my friend. The feeling of triumph, war, and death. Bended to my desire. My enemies brought low so that I may take my rightful place as the true king of Europe. Perhaps even the emperor of Europe. Oh dear, I'm thrilled. I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with this outcome. Indeed, this was so successful. I actually am still really quite strong militarily, and that might prevent rebellious factions from trying to kill me. Hey there, buddy. Duke Otto, he's pretty powerful, so I'm going to want him to be my friend. What else? What else? Duke of Tuscany is... he's probably not going to rebel. We have such a large gain of land here that I'm quite pleased with our progress today. But perhaps we should look around more before we sign off on what we might want to do next. As you might see, we are slowly approaching the actual historical borders of the Holy Roman Empire. And if we successfully get those borders, we'll be able to form it, I believe. If we just look here at decisions, restore Holy Roman Empire. Oops, sorry about that. We need 3 kingdom titles. I have 2. My realm size must be 140. I actually do have that. And I need to be liked by the Pope. And, oh my goodness, all I need to do is retake the Italian kingdom and then make the Pope like me. And then I can become Holy Roman Emperor. In 886. That's pretty early for a Holy Roman Empire. It's pretty great, too. I think this is feasible, guys. I think we can do it. I think next time we're going to gear up for a war with Italy and potentially secure my empire. And once it is fully founded, I won't have to worry so much about succession crises blowing up my kingdom. We'll also need to consider taking over Bavaria, but as I have no direct claims to it, we'll have to either fabricate claims on individual counties and slowly eat away with them, or find a way to finagle my way in with marriages and stuff like that. But that's going to be a story for another time. We are going to probably end it here, guys. So thanks for joining me as I continue to struggle my way through Crusader Kings 3. I hope I was able to provide an entertaining and very quick and devastating war. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe, and see you guys next time. Thank you very much.